Greetings, Commanders. Today we're going to be going over the new community event inside of Elite Dangerous. Where are we actually located at? Well, currently, we're in HIP 87621. We are at the Exogene Science Center, which was where the previous community goal was. We head over to the Starport Services. We can go to the Mission Board and Community Goal. From here, you're going to see several different community goals. One of them is going to be on the very bottom. This is going to be for another Exobio. This is just going to reward you some skins. If you head over to the information, it'll tell you exactly what you're actually rewarded for here. This is just normal stuff, so we don't have to really go into detail, but just wanted to highlight that in case you guys didn't know about it. Now, the other ones, this is where you're going to get into more complicated scenarios here. So depending on your power, you're going to have Independent, Alliance, Imperial, and Federal. For example, we're partnered with ROM, so we are going to be picking the Independent campaign, and this is where we're going to be adding our contribution. So today we're going to be showing exactly how to add contribution to this list. And you might be wondering, how do we know what our power is actually listed as? Well, that's a very good question. So you want to head over to your right side panel and then click on the Power Play tab. From here, you're going to notice where it says you are pledged to. This is where it'll show your portrait. Click on that, and then underneath their name, it'll tell you what category they're actually listed as. Make sure you're picking the right one that matches your power, that way you're able to get the merits to go alongside your power. It'll be much better for you. But the thing is, how do you actually find out where you're supposed to be going? Well, you want to head over to your left side panel and go inside of your navigation and to the galaxy map. Now, if your power was close to undermining a system, you would see a blue crosshair mark on one of the stars around here. We only have marks for the red triangles, which signify that our system is under attack. But how do we actually filter to know which system should theoretically have one? Well, you want to head over to the left side and you're going to be clicking on this Power Play module. But you don't want to actually click anything over here. All that doesn't matter at all. You click the next one down here, and then you want to select whatever power you are. So for example, we're Grom. And then you can have it set to resist, undermining, acquiring, reinforcing. We care about undermining. And we don't really care about minimum activity level. So it's going to highlight all the systems that we are currently undermining. You could also filter by systems that we're defending also. Now, when it comes to filtering, it's going to be a little bit different. So undermining is going to be systems that you're attacking. Reinforcing is systems that you're defending. So you're going to be noticing that the place we're actually in isn't going to show up if we have it selected under undermining. Well, how do you actually know if the star is something that you're defending or undermining? Now, whenever you click on a star, it'll start out with the standard information. However, the third tab down here is going to be for power play. So for example, we are Yuri Grom and we're reinforcing the area. Now, not every single star near the community goal actually has a conflict that I noticed. Last time we found it was kind of hard to locate them. But once you do, you head over to your left side panel, and then you want to filter by points of interest. This is going to show all of your conflict zones. Now, it's going to be a little bit different depending on if you're defending or if you're attacking an area. For example, this is Yuri Grom's territory, so every single one is going to have his name inside of it. But you'll notice in the top right corner, it doesn't always work, but it should list the names of the power. So if you're in a system where you're attacking, for example, anyone who's not with Yuri Grom, you need to have your power name there. So where it says Li Rongui, we can head over to the next one, and you want to notice that it says Archon Delane. So if your power is not actually listed in the top right, then you're not going to get any credit at all for this current community event. It was a little hard to explain and figure out, so that's why I wanted to make a video to sort of break it down for you guys. Now, this is purely for the combat side of the event. So once you head to a power conflict zone, you're going to notice that it's going to be labeled a little bit differently compared to normal. If you are in the incorrect one, it's not going to have any information in the top right corner. As long as you see the bars of the power going, that's how you know you're actually in the right spot. Whenever you jump to an area, it takes a couple seconds for it to populate, so don't worry about no ships or anything actually being recorded here. Just give it a second, things will start spawning in. And now you'll see defeat enemy ships in the top right corner. It does require a lot of ships killed, so don't expect this to be like a quick thing. It usually takes about half an hour or so. Ooh, a Conda. Now, every single time that you get one, you also earn a little bit of merits, and you'll also get the main benefits whenever the event ends, but you'll get a little bit of benefits per every single ship that you kill. That's how we got to the top 25%. I recommend bringing in like some normal lasers or burst lasers, something like that, mainly due to the fact that it's going to be a very long battle of attrition. and it's going to be about 30 to 40 minutes inside one spot. If you're with multiple commanders, you'll be able to jump in and out, but if you're by yourself, going the solo approach is definitely the way to go. By the way, stay tuned for a combat build that we will have on the Caspian here soon. This thing is a beast for combat. Even though it's set up for exploration, this thing gets 60 light years and it's still a very formidable foe. Also, if you're in the correct area, you'll actually have green marks instead of just red everywhere. If you accidentally shoot your own power currently, it's still going to show red. They won't attack you, but the whole map will just show red. And the bigger ships occasionally give you like a little bit bigger tick on the graph at the top there, but it's not a huge amount. And you'll get a little bit of credits per killing too. But as you can see, one conda and that little highlighted green area, that's how small of a change that we've actually made so far. So it's going to take you at least like 30 to 40 minutes of killing. So make sure you bring a big ship that can actually survive out here. Whenever you're defending an area, you'll be attacked a lot more frequently, so you are going to need a little bit better setups versus having like a normal CZ where you can just bring like a small fighting ship. So just keep that in mind while you're doing this event. If this guide helped you out, Commanders, be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Oh, and so for the contribution, sometimes it'll be delayed, so it won't actually show that you did anything even though you did complete it. If you relog or if you just give it some time, it should automatically correct itself. But if this guide helped you out, Commanders, make sure you guys leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Now, one quick side note I forgot to add in the video. You don't actually have to fully complete the conflict zone. You can stay there for a little bit and leave, and it will give you a little bit of credit. But to get the max amount of credit, you'll have to stay there. And eventually, you'll be able to kill all the bad guys, and you'll win that conflict zone. Which it does take about 30 to 45 minutes. So it is quite a long battle of attrition.